So now it's 5. I think we can start.
Yes.
So yeah, let's talk about our RPL read and how it started. Everything. Do you remember? Did you send me a message or did I send you a message? I don't know exactly who was
I
first.
it was
I
me.
think you
It
were
was,
sending an email.
yeah. I sent you an email in 2009, 2019,
Yes.
September something. I remember. I was looking for a reed. I was really desperate to find a reed that could play. Uh, Kane were not working. The synthetic that I used to play are not working anymore. So I send you an
What did you
email.
play at this time?
I don't know if I can send the brands. Can I send the brands? Maybe not.
Oh, you can talk about your history, which brands you had been playing,
Oh,
maybe.
yeah. This everything started in 2012 when I went to France. I was studying in Strasbourg, and it is impossible to play with cane there. I don't know how French people do, but it's impossible. You go to the toilet and you can your reed is so
It's
wavy. It's impossible
warped.
to. Yes. So I tried some synthetic. I was playing. Now after France, I started to play with some leger reeds, but they are fine. They are good reeds, but I want something different. I was not happy with the consistency and I was not happy with the sound. They were cool reads, but not exactly what I was looking for, and not for my students as well. So I tested. I think I will say 70 or 80% of the reads in the market, cane and synthetic. And yes, that's when I send you an email and you send me some samples. It was for me, it was really hard to play with it because you were strange, but I like the core and the center of the sound.
Yes, I remember when you when I got this mail from you, and I thought, oh, who is this guy, Rodrigo? And I put you into the Google, and I said, oh, that's an interesting person. And so, uh, do you remember? Did we have a talk at this time, or we first contacted by email?
I think it was by email. Just you send me some samples. No, I give you my feedback. At
So
this
how
time, I
was your
was.
experience in the when you got the first samples?
Yeah, when I tested, I really enjoy the sound of the reed. You know, the sound was better than cane actually. It's like more harmonics, but you know the cut was not possible for me to play all these little challenges, classical pieces. But I love the sound, and I give to my colleague that is teaching with me in the Free School of Music, and and he loved it. He said, "Oh, the reed is great. Is really something is missing, the cut or something, but the core, the heart of the reed, not the heart in terms of the heart of the reed, like the center, the concept of sound is very interesting." I think, and then you sent me an email and to start working. I never imagined it will take us 3 years to to do the first one, the
Oh,
auto
let me
one.
say something because um, did you know how what you're saying is you could feel that the material itself was fine, but the cut was not perfect. So
Yeah.
my idea of getting close to the material was to rebuild the structure of cane. So I was looking through a microscope and saw the structure of the cane reed, and what I was doing is to rebuild the structure, to take the nature as an example, and then build a material with hollow fibers, with the longitudinal hollow fibers and the cellular structure around with synthetic materials. And that's actually the basic thing I started more than 30 years ago. And still the idea is still the same, and it's still working because I think it was some kind a good invention.
Yeah, I can tell that, just I knew that you are something special. You know, I know that you know, even with this cut, maybe you don't like it, but was made with a lot of attention and love and care, and that's because the material is so great. And was really impressive the way. And this reed, I will talk about this later, I think, but the way this reed projects and this have this warmth of sound, and high notes are amazing. You can climb to your saxophone, and it's really easy to blow. I think for me, it was everything I was expecting and looking for. I played saxophone for almost 30 years, and 30 years I was looking for this kind of reed. So I'm really happy. I practiced 2 hours today with the reed, and I played solo like 3 days ago, and same reed, same feeling, everything. So that's the goal, right? To have this. It's almost like a mouthpiece, you know.
Yes, because it's not changing. But let's have a look at the way from the first experience and the steps we made, because it was quite a long time until we came to the final result, to the RPL reed like it is today. So what did we change after the first samples?
Yeah, so the thing, we start to cook them, I think, with a vacuum machine. We start to cook the material, the reed, the reed. And just to be clear, I was playing all these 3 years with all the prototypes. I was playing with opera, I was playing with soloists, I was always playing with the prototypes, because even the prototypes were better than everything I tested before. But anyway, but you know,
well, I remember you sent me some cane reeds, because I said to you, okay, what I sent to you is not perfect, but I need something, some example. So you said, okay, I send you the best I have, and you sent me some cane reeds, and I was playing, because of course I'm a saxophone player myself.
yes.
So then I was buying the same mouthpieces you are using, and which I think we can say.
Yes, we actually we try. I tried here in Portugal with the most famous brands, the Selma, Van Doren, Eugene Rousseau. I was testing. This reed was not made just for my mouthpiece. I tested with my colleagues and students, and even friends, my friends from the United States. Different approaches, different kind of mouthpieces. So this is not doesn't you don't need to change your mouthpiece to play with this reed. You can play it with all kinds of mouthpieces.
Yes, but for me it was important to have the same mouthpiece. So I bought the Rousseau. It was an NC4 for the alto and the NC5 for the tenor, and I think also for soprano and baritone it's NC4, right? Is it right?
Yes. I play NC5 and baritone. It's the same.
I got them all because I want to have exactly the same feeling like you did. And then I played these cane reeds, and I was measuring the cane reeds, and then did some changes at the cut, following my feeling. And well, of course it's a lot of experience. Like you play 30 years, I'm 30 years developing and cutting reeds, so I know what to do if I want to change a reed to make it a little darker or brighter, or make the attack a little easier. So I was doing the first step and sent you the first samples back, but it was only the beginning. I mean, it was quite nice, because you always had been very positive and said, oh yes, it's great, and I like, and it plays so good, but
exactly, always a but.
And so always was this but. We have to I need a little bit more this and that, and so it was a process which finally went over years, because you live in Portugal and I live in Germany, and so most of the time we are shipping the reeds to each other.
Yeah, we work a few times, I think 2 or 3 times. We work 2 or 3 times in the factory together, and it was a really nice experience. Yes, like you said, it's just I was, because I have a problem, like all the saxophone players, we are really picky with the reeds, like it's almost, and just to let everyone knows, RPL was not my idea, it was Harry's idea. But if you have my name on it, I want something that will be really a nice cut, because the product is great. So should be a cut that will satisfy and people will be able to play with it and maybe fall in love. So that's how everything started. And in fact, it was funny because we were working like mad dogs. And one day was working till 3 in the morning or something. And I asked Ari, so tomorrow, what time you should start? And he said, boom, because we start so late, we should rest. So we start at 8 in the morning. So that was, it was really, because I like that. I know I find someone that is really passionate about things. I'm a passionate. Sometimes I'm a little bit too much anxiety, but finding someone that is passionate about something. And I think you, Harry, we are passionate because you believe in your product. You believe in all the work you did all your life, and that's why you are passionate. That's why you trust in your product. So it was really a nice marriage between us. And
oh, we are married. Oh, okay,
yes,
good to
we are.
know.
That was a nice marriage. And the thing is, it was really because I found like 2 months ago or 3 months ago when we were in Lisbon that I have some really close friends, jazz players, and they tried to read and they found that was the most amazing jazz reed they ever played, and was not meant to be. Was all we thought, just to make it for classical music. That's my idea, but somehow the reed end up rock musicians that play in rock groups, and they play with the reed as well, and they love it. So I think I think this 3 years of working on the reed, I think paid off. I think we create something that is made for everyone, and I think people should try it at least to see. Of course, it's expensive, of course, but we can work on it. That's an amazing thing. We can work on the reed. You can spend your money in the reed, but if it's too soft, you can use sandpaper on it. If it's too hard, if it's too soft, you can trim the tip. So it's different from everything I know in the market, I think.
Well, it's a question if it's expensive, because you could spend a lot of money for cane reeds if they don't work. And with this reed, what you find out is that we really have a nice consistency, meaning
Yes,
the
true.
difference between one reed to the other is really very small, a
It's
really
small.
small difference, and you can play them all. So, and you can play it for quite a long time. So finally, it's not expensive. Finally, you're saving money because you have a
That's
reed that plays great for a long time.
that's
Well,
true.
this
And
is what the people say. I don't want to make too much promotion here.
exactly. No, I was in shock when I visited the factory, and how do you make the reeds, like with carpets, and you're brushing the reeds by hand with lacquer and drying and sanding it. It's just insane amount of work that you need to put on a reed. That's why I think they're not expensive at all. But I think at this point, if you can work on a reed, even for me the reed is really consistent. This reeds, the RPL are really, if you buy a 3 or 325 or something, is like you're going to buy 5, you're going to have the same reed almost. Of course, small changes, but like I said, you can personalize the reed and create make it like a mouthpiece or something. But yeah, every time people speak about prices, and they don't want to know if the reed that you have is really hard to make it or not. They're just comparing it to other brands in the market. But that said, I think that the reed is not expensive, in my opinion, though. And I'm not trying to sell it. I think you should try it first before buying it if you can. If you cannot I'm sure that if you don't try it, if you buy it, you're going to have an amazing reed. Because some shops you can try it, some you cannot try it. I don't know. But this reed is really something that I think people will love it.
Well, I think something we should say to the people who are listening is that in the case of Fiberreed in general, you can buy a reed or order a reed and try the reed. And if you don't like it, you just send it back and you get your money back. Because this is something which is not usual in with other brands. I don't know if any other brand is doing that, but I can tell for sure we are doing that. So you don't have a risk. So because of course for some people, especially in our times now where everything is expensive and people have less money, so to spend this amount of money for a reed is something which counts, especially for a student who is very short with money. So everybody can try, and if you like, you just keep it. If you don't like, you send it back, and you have no risk at all.
That's amazing. And just because my students are always asking about this, it's just if you don't know how to use the sandpaper or work on a reed, just ask your professor, your teacher, and or on YouTube. If you don't know how to do it, be careful. Just ask your teacher. Say, "Oh, can you help me using the sandpaper?" I'm sure that he will teach you. And because sometimes the reed, because if you push it a little bit further or back, just less than millimeter, the reed will change, and you need to use sandpaper on it. So sometimes just if you push it a bit further or back, the reed is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I think it's with our reeds, they are more sensible for pushing them up or getting them down compared to a cane reed. They are reacting more sensible on the movement of the reed on the mouthpiece. Yeah, you should know that. But something I want to say, because you said your teacher can help you. I'm sure a lot of teachers know how to work on reeds, but also a lot of teachers do not know. Oh, let me see. Was ist das?
Einer hat geschrieben, I find them more economical than cane. Also.
Oh yeah. I just get a message here from the people, someone who's listening to us, and he's writing. I think it's a he. He said, "I find them more economical than cane." That's from Zone Sex.
Nice.
Well, so no, what I want to say is not all the people, not all the teachers know how to work on the reeds. So what we have on our website is some tutorial in pictures, but what we are going to do very soon until the end of the year will be a tutorial video where I show how to work on reeds, that you or maybe we can do it. We have to think about, maybe we do it together. It would be nice to work on the reed and then to hear the difference, what it makes.
Yeah, I think I made a video just explaining more, just suggesting the kind of sandpaper you should use, like a 600 on the vamp, and maybe to trim like a 1000, but not. I think we should do that, like to a video like showing where you should do it, how soft or where, because it could help a lot of people. Even if you use cane, you can use these techniques on cane, because I'm using on the reeds, the RPL. I'm using the techniques I work on the cane reeds, so it works perfectly. And the thing is, what I feel about this reed is like the confidence. I was playing with band 3 days ago or 4, I don't know, and of course with band everything is louder, but this reed has so much projection, so much pre-blow. I'm really confident, and when you're playing by heart and you trust your material, everything goes to another step, it goes to another level. And I think it happens the same with when I change my saxophone. Like I love to practice now. It's easier to practice. You know what I'm saying? I take my saxophone, I put my reed on the saxophone, and the sound is fat and dark and I can project the sound, and I fall in love for practicing. It's really nice because sometimes it is not working, and you sound like not what you are thinking in your head, and you lose your motivation to practice. And I think with this reed, in my opinion, though, I have more I want to practice more and more and more. When I'm here speaking with you, I'm thinking about practicing. No, I'm joking.
Yes, well, that's also very nice for students because just especially for young students who don't have this experience with the reeds, when you get them one good reed, when you get them one of the reeds, for instance, of our reeds, which is working great, they know, and the teacher knows the problem will not be the reed because the student is practicing at home, and you don't know as a teacher how is the situation with the reed. Is he changing? Does he have a good reed or not? And sometimes it's frustrating if the reed doesn't work for any reason. So this has an end because the reed and the mouthpiece and everything will work fine. So
yeah, and one of the questions my students ask a lot, and even master classes, they ask how long this reed lasts for. How long? Just I know that's a lot, but I'm playing with reeds that I played like 3 or 4 months ago. I have the same reed, and the durability of the reed is really an important question. If you want to speak more about this, Eric.
well, yeah, we have the experience that the reed can last pretty long, but most of the people like to replace it after a few months. It depends on how many hours you practice every day. If you practice only once a week, it can last for very long.
Yeah.
But if the people are practicing a lot of hours, it will last less, of course. And it depends a lot on how much you take care, because the reed is thinner than a cane reed at the tip. So of course, when you put your cap to the wrong place, and it can destroy the reed. So you have to be careful. But if you are careful, it can last for a long time. And even, I mean, after a few weeks or months of playing it, it can be at the tip that the tip is getting a little rough. And in this moment, some people will just replace it, because not everybody likes to work on reeds. Some people just want to get a reed and take it and play. But for the people who like to work on reeds, who like to save money, they can make it smooth again on the tip with a fine sandpaper grain 1000, and it can last longer.
Yeah, what I feel about the reed is like, and this is amazing because this reed is thinner than cane, but it's almost indestructible. If I do like this in my hands, it doesn't break. If I do it with a cane, it's going to be destroyed. What I feel with the reeds, that sometimes with time the reeds get stronger, not weaker. I think the lacquer is vanishing with time, right, Eric? The lacquer that seals the reed is disappearing. It takes a few months. Depends. If you use alcohol, it's going to destroy faster. Because it's sealing the pores, because you have a lot of pores in the reed.
Yes.
More than cane,
But
I think.
what you normally don't, I mean, the reed is made out of synthetic fibers and epoxy resin. So it's a compound. And normally What you don't want to have in a compound is air. Nobody wants air in the compound because there's this, you get less stability. But we did exactly the different. We have a different idea because we need the air to make the material sound good. So the cellular structure, which has the natural material of the Arundo Donax, we make it with a foaming resin, which actually is responsible for the air inside of the reed. So when you put the reed under a microscope, you can really see the air bubbles between the fibers. That's who has a microscope should do that. Well, I think it's really interesting because you can see the air bubbles, and the air makes the reed light, and then it can vibrate really nice, and the stability is still strong enough to last for a long time. But
Yeah.
this is the secret of our material, how it sounds so good, because we have the air inside.
Yeah, it was funny because I was looking through. I have all the I register everything that we did, and it took us because in the beginning it was hard for me to go to overtones, to really high notes, and it took us like 1 year, almost 1 year to. And now the reed, even I give to my students, have some. They are hard for them to go like F or G. And they do it easily. And
But you mean not the F and G4, you mean the F and G5.
Five, yeah. And they do it really easily. And this process it was a lot of work, and I think we are conquering a problem each time. So it was that, and after flexibility, but it was really a process of a challenge, like obstacles. Let's conquer this, and after that, and I'm really proud. And yes, and now I think if I give to my student, the read is really funny because they try to read it like, oh my God, this is so much different, and they change for what they're playing before, and nothing comes out because it's such a different way to blow. Because with this reed you cannot bite, because all these reeds you need to bite a lot. You make a lot of effort with your jaws, and this reed should relax and just free blowing. And it's really funny because when they change to cane or other synthetic with nothing comes out. I will challenge people are saying this to do this test, just to play with the RPL, and after trying your old reed to see the difference.
I just see a question here of one of our listeners from Originis Snow.
No.
He or she is asking, why did you choose the carbon layered material? By the way, everybody who has questions is welcome to ask the questions and put it into the chat. We will see it here and answer your question. So why did you choose the carbon layered material over the others? Well, that's in the beginning I had only the white hollow fiber material, which you see here, this one. And the first Fiberreed I made was only out of this material. And then it was just a trial. I said, oh, why not try? Well, no, it was like this. I said, oh, let's try the carbon fiber, because I was a little crazy for carbon. I said, oh, I like carbon fiber. And I was doing a carbon fiber reed, which was really blowing like hell, but the sound was too hard. It was a little like metal. So that was too much, the carbon, and you had to make the reed really thin, much thinner than now. And now it's thinner than the cane reed. But the pure carbon reed was really, it was like a knife, and it was also not so nice for the tongue, because it could make your tongue hurt your tongue. So I said, okay, let's try and do a mix. So I said, okay, let's do every second layer of the material carbon fiber. It was just a trial, and well, finally that was the goal. That was the best material forever until now.
Yeah, I remember when you sent me some prototypes with the carbon fiber. I had a gig the day after in France, and I played with it with orchestra. It was like, oh my God, I love this material. So we start to work with it. Oh
We
yeah,
have another question. Why
yeah,
did you, Rodrigo, like the carbon layers? Well, I
yeah.
mean, Rodrigo, he didn't choose between, because did you ever play the white material? I don't
No,
remember.
no. We start to work with the cook material, and I think you send me some cook material, and you send me this white and black, these layers of carbon with the same cut, but we change the material a little bit. And I start to play with it immediately. Was not perfect yet, but was so much better. And that's why I think we start to work the cut with this white and black layers of carbon, because is a lot of the free blow is free blowing, and the sound is a lot of spring when the reed you play, and you have this feeling of spring, the kick of the attack, like powerful. So and you can do piano, of course, and you can do everything, but the core is really a lot of spring, and I love that. Love that. Just for classical musicians, what we believe in spiritual music, and what I personally believe is like I love big sounds, like 60s and the 70s, big sounds, round, fat sounds. Of course, people now play with that sound, and if you like that kind of sound, and you don't need to change your horn, I think we should try this reed, because this reed will give you, or your mouthpiece, this reed is going to give you darkness tone maybe you are looking for. Of course, you want to change the mouthpiece, you're free to do it, but I think I prefer to invest like the cheapest things to the most expensive. So yeah, that's why Harry sent me some samples. I have a graveyard of reeds here in my house. He sent me some samples, and I start, because I work on the reeds in my home. I have some tools, so maybe sometimes I work and I send to Harry, and of course my tools are not so are more well, they're not so much professional.
Sophisticated.
Is that exactly? But yes, but he sent me these samples with these layers of carbon, and for me was something I never tried in my life. Yeah, and after that was 1 year more, not 1 year, it was like 6 months to finalize the RPL cut, because small adjustments they are really hard to do, and we decided we want to launch a really great product, just not doing something that we need to correct after. So that's why Harry sent me some samples, different materials, and that's why I fall in love for the carbon layers.
So let's talk a little bit about the strengths. Today I was, well, we are testing the reeds here. This is also something which is not, I think it's not usual that the reeds are really tested, because there is no machine which can test the reeds so far. So we have a real test of the reeds. It depends. Sometimes we are testing 100%, sometimes less, but we are testing at least a few reeds to see if the quality is the same. Of course, they are disinfected later, because that is necessary. But it's possible with a synthetic reed. It's you can put it into the disinfection, and though to be sure. Also because the COVID time, we had some special disinfection to make sure no virus is going out of the factory. So anyway, I was testing and I was trying my jazz mouthpiece today. I was testing tenor reeds because we needed some lower strengths. And I have a old Peter Ponsel stainless steel mouthpiece. I think the opening is about 7 or 8. And I was playing it with a number 2 RPL tenor, and I was really surprised it was playing great. That you told before that also jazz player like it, and I can well, I'm more a jazz player than a classical. I was learning classical saxophone in the university, but that was a long time ago in the 80s. I'm still playing classical sometimes, but most of the time I'm playing popular music. But so I know how to play both styles. So it's really working with the jazz mouthpiece, and I'm looking forward to get the opinion of a lot of jazz players. I want to know how they like the reed, because we have some Fiberreed fans like David Liebman. I want to send him a reed. You know David Liebman? Maybe not, because it's
Me, of
another
course.
world. You
Of
know him?
course. Of course,
Oh, good.
everyone knows him. Everyone knows him. He's an amazing. He's amazing.
Yeah, he was playing Barry reeds for years.
I don't know. I know that because I'm a Buffet Pro artist. He made a Keyword soprano with his name.
Yes, that's true. Exactly.
Yeah,
We are
he's
friends
awesome.
for many years, and I will send him some reads and get his opinion. I want to know.
Yeah, you should. He's amazing, and you know, we just work on just finished the alto and the tenor, but we are aiming to finish Barry and soprano really soon. We just
Oh
need
yeah,
to.
but okay. I come back to the point where I wanted to talk about the strengths.
Oh,
So I was playing on a jazz mouthpiece with a big opening or bigger opening, a number 2 reed. So I think for the classical, what are you using usually on please say again which mouthpiece you are playing and which reed you are playing, because I think that's interesting for the people listening to us.
Yeah. So now I changed my mouthpiece. Actually, I'm playing with still with the Russo, but the ER50 custom is a
And what
new.
and
Yes, and the reed
before,
is and before was the NC4
what is the
Russo.
difference between the two mouthpieces?
Yes, but the reed works perfectly in the different models. Their work is
It
amazing
works on both mouthpieces.
perfectly. And normally I play with the RPL 3 and or 325 normally. I
Well,
like
the 320, that's something we should tell, because it's unusual. We never had the quarter strengths. I was thinking about quarter strengths, and I say, oh no, I don't want. That's too much things to have quarter strengths all over the range. But in this case, because you said, oh, you need to have a quarter strength between 3 and 3.5, because many people like the 3.0 is a little soft maybe, and the 3.5 is a little hard. So you need to have a 3.25, and so that's what we did. But until today, we have only the quarter strengths available between 3 and 3.5.
yeah, and they work amazing. What I love about the reeds is even if you're using if I play with two and a half, or even 2, I can play with it. It's too soft, of course, but I can play with it. It's not the way the reeds are made. It's just even if you are, imagine you're playing a 325 and you have a 3 and it's too soft. If you play on a mouthpiece, it plays well. Doesn't have this weak sound of the weak. The saxophone players know what I'm speaking about. When it's too soft, the reed, the sound is too smooshy. It's too, I don't know, it's strange. Of course, I feel that the reed is softer, but the sound quality is great at the same time. So maybe you can push the reed a little bit a little bit, and it worked perfectly. But like Ari said, we discussed a few months actually about the quarter strength. Of course, other brands they do that as well. But I think having that is really an amazing tool, because even people that don't know how to work with a reed, if they have two strengths, they can, because sometimes you're more tired, or sometimes you change your mouthpiece, or sometimes, and you need different reed, but not that, it's just a little bit softer. So instead of buying a 2.5, we have a 3, something in between. So that's really great. My opinion, though, I think is really great.
Yes, and about the future, until now we have only alto and tenor, but it was some nice situation. There was the first Azores saxophone, international saxophone festival, so the first international saxophone festival on the Portuguese Azores island, and we had been there, we met there, and there were some really young students, like, I don't know, they are maybe 6 or 7 years old, really, really young students, and they play the curved soprano saxophone, and they say, "Oh, please, oh, we want to try your reeds," and say, "Oh, I don't have soprano reeds," and I was taking an alto reed and cutting it and making it smaller, and but finally I made one reed out of an alto reed, which when you have enough experience you can do that, and it was really working nice. So I'm sure we will have the soprano and the baritone too as well in the near future.
Yes, I sent Ari just a few measurements that for the baritone and the soprano, we share some ideas, and yeah, I know that for Barry, a lot of the feedback I have for Barry, the musicians are always complaining that the synthetic reeds are really too soft, especially with Barry. And I think that with Fiberreed, RPL Fiberreed that's not going to be a problem. But the main concern is for the Barry play is a synthetic, they are really too soft. I'm speaking about classical musicians or that play classical Barry, or I don't know. They feel that they still use cane because with the synthetic it's too soft. And I'm really excited because with that, I think with Fiberreed we can do it, no problem. I think just easy. I think.
Oh, I just see El Michel. She's a endorser. Hello, El Michel. I'm happy to have you here in our live session. And well, I think you have to try the new reed.
Yes, you should.
So, well, let me see on my paper. We talk about the mouthpieces. Well, the reed is, I think it's really it's made especially for classical musicians, but I'm sure it's playable for everybody. That's the experience. I didn't expect that, but that's the experience so far, because we had in Lisbon I was there in the university where Rodrigo is teaching, and there were some jazz players trying to read, and they love it, and so I'm sure it looks like it's good also for other styles than classical playing.
And yes, one of the students, the jazz player, approached me like 2 days ago, and he told me, I still have the reed that I bought to Harry in Lisbon, and in my best reed, the best reed I have. And they try all the jazz reeds in the market. I said, this is the best reed. I'm still playing with it. And my colleague, jazz player, is Desiderio Lázaro. I really love him, and I like him because I love his playing. I like him because he's really straightforward. He's like he speaks like a classical musician. He's like, I don't like, I like. He's really, I love this. And he said to me, "This is great. I
And
love
this
it."
is how the, tell me a little, how are the classical musicians talking? That's something interesting.
Now, the classical musicians are really, they know what they want. So it is
Okay.
the classical musicians, sometimes it's really hard to change material, really a bit skeptical. I don't know if they're going to work. And they are really straightforward. If they test something that they don't work, they don't want to wait. Oh, I will explain. I don't want explanations. I want something that you put on the mouthpiece and it works. So that's why it took us a lot of time to do something that the first experience of playing will be great, not something that people, oh, I'm going to adjust. It's really intuitive, this reed. I love that because you put it, is a totally different way of blowing, but when you start to play it, my experience is like you're feeling like, okay, I like this. I know how to blow. You don't need to do a reset or relearning blowing or using the diaphragm differently. It happens. So I think that's why classical musicians like it, and I think that's why jazz musicians like it. We don't need to think about that too much. We need to think about music. That's the most important thing, is think about the music and think about creativity, not think about material. And I like that on the RPL Fiberreed reeds, because we don't need to think about it. It's just, you put it and it's intuitive. I like that. It's just what musicians like. We need to play music, to pay taxes, to pay rent. It's too much to think about. So we don't think about reeds anymore. That's a relief, I think.
Yes, I think it's important to have a situation like when you buy a tire for your car. You don't think if the tire is working or not, because you know it has to work. And I think we should have this situation with reeds too, that when you buy a reed, you have to know this reed will work. This is my goal. This is why I'm working and give my time, because, well, I started as a saxophone player in the university, and it was in the year about 1985 and 86 when I was starting to develop the reed, because I saw the situation was that other instruments like the drum set or the string instrument, they had synthetic materials. So all the drums in the orchestral world, they are made out of synthetic material. And I thought, why don't we have that with our reeds? And so that's why I started to develop, because I want to make something similar available for the woodwind players. That was the initial idea, because, well, I think I'm an inventor from my, well, I'm born like an inventor, I don't know, but it's inside of me. I cannot stop it. I want to do something better if it's possible, and this give me the energy to continue, because of course when you have some success and you see the people like to play the reeds you are making, this gives me the resonance and the feedback that I have a reason to continue what I do.
The motivation, right? And it's funny because when people, I said to people, oh, we worked for 3 years on the AutoCAD, and now, of course, now this process, because we have the know-how now, is easier. But people say, oh, but you're not working every week or every day. I don't know. For me, it was almost every day, because I was playing the reeds every day. So every day I was researching and testing and cutting, and we measure everything, the length, the width, the strength, everything every day. So it was not something, for me, was 3 years of every day I was working on the reeds. And it was funny because I had a gig and I need to stop because I was I was 3 hours working on the reeds, and I need to practice for tomorrow. And I didn't need to practice for tomorrow. I just need to choose a reed because the way Harry is passionate, I like it because it's the same way. I'm like this. I want to go, and because I'm almost there. And I think it was a student that asked me that a few weeks ago. I said, that, yeah, but it was every day because I'm playing with this reed for 3 years. So 3 years with the prototypes, but this was a work that every day I work every day with the reeds. Not a single day I could not change because I could not play with other things, other reeds, cane or synthetic. So that was really a really great experience to work every day with Aries reed. I remember I was in Paris giving a concert and a masterclass, and Ari came and was a prototype. I think you gave me some prototypes, and I put the prototype and I played 1 hour after because it was so much better than the other prototypes. So it was like it's really intuitive, even if it's a prototype. You remember that, Ari, right?
Yes, yes, in the buffet studio in Paris.
Yes,
When you had the concert that was recorded. Yeah.
Yes, with my friends from Paris, and it was so great because even if it's something new, a different cut or different prototype, is really intuitive. So I just put in my mouthpiece. I could never do that with cane. Never in my life. I could never put like a new cane and put it in my mouthpiece.
Play it on the concert. Yes.
This was people think it's insanity, but I think it's really natural for me now with this reed.
And we tried, I was just thinking about that we tried a lot of things and not everything was working. We just were trying the different width of the reed, different lengths of the reed. We were doing reeds thinner and thicker. So we tried out different parameters to change them to find out what is important to make for the sound. And finally, we found, okay, this is important. The other thing is not important, and so we could concentrate on the only things which are important for the sound.
I remember just a funny story, just a funny something that happened with me and Harry. We are at the time we were cooking the reeds, and we decided, oh, I love this cut. I really love it. And Harry told me, oh, great. So, but we need to change the color because I cannot use this color for some reason. I don't remember. Anyway, we changed the color and the reeds are totally different. That how is possible that? And Harry was like, Rodrigo, that's not possible. And I thought to myself, maybe I'm crazy. So I gave to my colleagues and no, they're different. So everything in this reed was thought. We thought about every detail, even the color, even the width, even the length, even everything was we thought about it. It was not something that that's why we are here speaking.
Yeah, well, you have to say this because the carbon reeds, they don't have color inside, but this was a step before when we are using a different material, which was the molded material, which has some we tried some color inside.
Yeah, with this material is just black and white. But,
okay, we have only a few minutes left. Okay. So if everybody, if there are any questions, it would be the chance to ask the questions. I can see here on my screen the questions coming in. So if anybody from you guys outside have any questions, please write them now, because we will stop here in about 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the questions also?
Yes, I see the people that are entering, and you can ask whoever you want.
Well, okay. Maybe we already talk about everything which is
maybe
interesting. Well, I think we will have again another live session. Oh, I have my assistant Anne here. So when will be the next session?
We will have a Zoom question and answer, Zoom link with the Zoom
Okay, I just hear that we will have a Zoom link. I don't know where will we have the Zoom link.
Sagt Ihnen über Instagram oder per Mail bekommen Sie das.
Okay, okay. There will be a Zoom link available. I think we will have a mailing, another mailing with the Zoom link. And so if you have any questions later on, because sometimes you get the question just one day after you slept one night or whatever. Well, anyway, I'm always open to answer questions if anybody has a question.
Yeah, just to tell everyone that this is not going to solve all the problems in the world, but is a good alternative, in my opinion, to what is in the market. So even if you are really a cane guy or a cane musician, man or woman, it doesn't matter. If you are cane, if you like cane, you should try this anyway, just to see the difference. And because yeah, it's totally different. If you are expecting that you're going to put this and it's going to sound like plastic, you are totally wrong. It's going to sound really dark, a lot of harmonics. So I hope you enjoy it the same way I do.
Yes, and for the people who are, well, I said before, we send reeds which you can send back if you don't like it. You can return the reeds. And but for the people who are living a little closer, they are welcome to come here to visit our factory. You can try here. We have a place to try the reeds, and this is also nice because it's much more easy, and you can try all the different reeds we have until you find the right one for you, or if you have different instruments or mouthpieces. So take
Yeah,
a little
just let me say
time and come
something.
here.
Just let me say something. I don't sell reeds. I receive like hundreds of messages for me to sell. I don't sell reeds. Okay, you have in Portugal we have some shops selling. I think Russo Music is selling. Domingos Queiro is selling. I think in Lisbon these two shop online. You can buy it online. So I don't sell reeds. Okay, I just a musician. So if you want to order Harry, how they people.
Oh, how they can order? Well, it's easy. We have a online shop, and well, it takes a little. In the online shop, it's available now. So the easiest way is to order it in the online shop, because only if you buy it in our online shop you can return the reeds. But in the future, the reed will be available in all the shops in most of the shops in Europe. Because I think nearly every shop has a GEWA catalog, GEWA. It's a distributor which is selling a wholesale company, and every music shop has a GEWA catalog, and we are already in this catalog. But the new reed not. So it takes maybe about a half year until we are available on this line.
Link is
Okay.
profile.
So yeah.
Oh, I have one more question.
The link is
Okay.
in profile.
Which link?
To the website, to the shop, to the
Okay, I just here in the Instagram profile, on the Fiberreed Instagram profile, we have a link to our shop. So if someone wants to try our reeds, just go to our shop and order a reed to try, or send an email, whatever is best for you. Okay, we are at the end of our time. Thanks everybody for listening to us. Thank you, Rodrigo, for taking your time.
Thank you for having me.
And yeah, we will send an email when we have the next live session, and we will continue then.
Yes. Thank you, Harry. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Take care. It was really pretty. The view was amazing.
Yes, it was great.